You're home. It's lovely. We're excited to begin the process.
Well, as am I. Where do we start this thing?
How about where the night began?
This show is really well researched. We did our best to try and create scenarios that are based on something, and that is based on something. The first interview in the documentary, which is him walking through that house, is the first thing they shot. And Jean-Xavier said it was so uncomfortable that he wanted to give him another chance to do it.
You thought I was strange.
We'll just do it again, with more emotion.
It was Michael Peterson's first moment ever really in front of a documentary camera. And I think you can watch the documentary and think that his unease is a sign of guilt. But if you see that actually that moment is for the first time in his life, he's been followed by this big camera and he's expected to tell a story about something horrific, who wouldn't be a little tight?
One fall can't explain 7 lacerations.
2 falls, then?
It helps to explain the blood on the soles of her feet.
That was one of the most exciting things that I've gotten to write. And I would love to say that I planned it for weeks in advance. But really, it's one of those kismet moments where you realize that the goals of the scenes worked perfectly together.
I hadn't seen the choreography, so when we started to shoot it and I was watching it, there's a story within what they were doing. There's this moment where their hands are like windmills and they're just circling and circling. And it just felt like Kathleen could see herself. So watching it was really upsetting because it's like this working and working, and then you see them all come together and it's almost like what she didn't have. And this girl was kind of reaching up, and it felt like a physical metaphor for what she was going through.
I need help.
I know, baby. I know. I'll make it easier, I promise.
So we have 3 timelines happening in the show, and they're happening concurrently. So we use the past, the present, and the future. In the past, it takes us from September to the night Kathleen passes away. And the idea was, as we were going through the season, is that the past timeline will end the show where the present timeline started our show. So it speaks to the circular nature of time, and that there is kind of an idea of destiny within this. And of course, it was a sad destiny.
Mike, help me. I felt compelled to want to give the voiceless a voice and help Kathleen be remembered as more than a victim. She loved her family, so she would never complain. But the more tenuous and unstable her position at work became, the more she realised that her own footing at home was a little bit unsupported and unstable. And they're living in this massive house, and it seems like they have this big affluent life. They have parties at their house. He's involved in politics. And Kathleen is literally the one making it all happen. She works like a dog. She worked so hard, and not only did she support them all financially, she's the one who supported everyone emotionally, which is exhausting in itself. So I think no matter what happened, that amount of stress and living in a home with a serious lack of support probably did influence what happened to her.